Gatcher, would you lead us in the pledge, please? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Jake. All right. So, just so we're clear, folks, the workshop itself is for us to start looking at what has been formulated as an initial pass at the budget. And that this is essentially for the board to start discussing line item by line item, just exactly where we're at and where we might be headed. So we will take comments from time to time, but we have got a long agenda, and I just want to try to do what I can to get through this, and then obviously EMS is doing a presentation, and then into the regular board meeting. So just so everybody's aware. Okay. All righty. So diving right into it. We're looking at legislative board, which is the board of, or the town council, however you want to describe it. And that at this point is we're looking at about a 4% increase. It would be up from $15,000 to $20,800. That obviously is for, that's board member stipends. Thoughts on that? I mean, do you want to, I'm honestly not, let me see here. How does the board feel about it, 4% increase? Because this is your stipend.
I'm not here for it.
That's,
You're not here for it. So.
oh, that is true. We are to Ms. Bowers and Mr. Hyde.
Tough to swallow.
So it's 5, 10, 15. Oh, because Jim didn't take,
Correct. Yes, he gave it back. Correct. Yes,
so
so the
this
new,
is 5, 10, 15,
right, it would basically be for all four.
be all for all four.
All four, correct.
And the 4% is the added 800.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's tricky because on one hand, you want to say,
Mhm.
stick with the 5, but at a certain point, you do realize you're putting in a ton of time. Not everybody is retired who's doing this. If you keep it at 5 forever, are you going to keep, I mean, people aren't running because of the money of the stipend, obviously. That's not why anybody is running. But is it worth the idea of if you keep it at 5 forever? How long has it been 5, I guess, is my question. Yeah.
I don't know, how long has it been $5,000? You're the longest. Okay, just curious if you'd have, I mean, okay, again, just looking for history.
Been a few years.
Okay.
I figured that through the term, my term, that was going to be the grade. I would expect if any changes would happen for mine, it would be the end of that point. But up to that point, I signed on expecting that.
Yeah, like I'm fine sticking with 5 for myself.
No. However, we still want to attract the finest. I mean, regardless of, still an attracting.
Would that be something that we could do? Like, we could stick to the 5 and then advertise it for whoever comes on with that new rate? Is that something that's possible? Or does it have to be, it has to be across the board? Okay.
Right. I mean, essentially, you're looking at,
$800.
right, $200 per board member.
Right.
And we're not making any decisions tonight. We're
No,
just having a
no, this is a
conversation.
this is a conversation. This is, the whole point of this is a conversation. And we don't have to stew on it for.
Yeah,
long,
I don't think we have
just-
to strand for, yeah, I mean, I think we can move on and maybe
Okay,
come back to it.
That'd be fine.
Okay.
all right. The next is town court, again, 4% for the judge. And then we're looking at, for contractual, an increase of 3.87. Again, I don't see that as completely out of line. If you look at Danae's breakout, it's basically the reimbursement for phone dues, post office box and supplies.
$1,000 and stayed consistent.
Pardon me?
And it stayed consistent.
Yep,
Yeah,
correct.
last year.
Yep. Thoughts on any, Jim? No?
Yeah, I don't
No,
have any-
moving on.
Okay,
no
all right.
issues.
People are good with it. We can move on or no? Paul, thoughts?
No problem.
Okay, all right, good enough. All right. Supervisor, 4%. And then obviously there is contractual, that's basically been mileage back and forth. So that increases 4 plus the mileage at 3.14.
How useful is your phone?
Truth, a brick. Get rid of it.
Do you use your?
$400, for reimbursing for.
Well, and the problem is that it's a brick when unless I've got Wi-Fi. So like if I'm traveling and if I'm not actually in a restaurant or a store or someplace that's got Wi-Fi, I can't use it. I can't access. So, yeah, I mean, you're right.
Are most people calling you on your?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, I don't, it's mostly, yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, Mark. It'd be nice if it worked. Believe me, if I would be, I'd give my eye teeth for it to work, but it doesn't.
I mean, if you're south, you should be, I mean, there's AT&T everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
so that should be working off south.
So why don't we do this? Why don't we circle the 400 for the phone and then we'll take another crack at it. After we have a chat with AT&T. Budget officer, as far as I'm concerned, I don't think that, at least from where I'm sitting, given the time that the budget committee has spent and the time that Danae has spent, that I necessarily deserve the budget officer, in my opinion, does not deserve a 4% increase. So I would remove that. Granted, it's only $52, but that's how I feel. The budget committee and Danae have done far more work than I. So I would keep that at 13.
Okay.
All right. As far as assessor is concerned, obviously, we're looking at a 4% increase. We're looking at I think that's really, what was the other piece
The
of it?
equipment went up,
Yeah,
laptop.
yep.
Why do we have money in for additional reeval this year when we just completed one? $3,000.
My understanding is that you want to stay at 100%, so that is for the postage and whatever mailing have to go out next year to keep up at 100%, but that's, I would want to verify that with you, so that's my.
Okay, thank you. Leave it as is.
Yep, okay. Next, we are at town clerk. The 4% raise plus contractual, and we're looking at $47. Plus the 10%, okay, plus the 3.828. You know, I'm honestly looking at it all, I'm good with it. Anybody got any questions or thoughts on
Yeah,
it?
the only question I have, Gene, do you have any sense, so the contractual doesn't go up at all, but I do believe postage continues to go up. Do we need to up that to cover postage?
I mean, potentially during tax season, we have the postage machine that's typically, what, 3 cents cheaper than the average rate, the going rate for a postage stamp. But yes, it's just gonna continue to go up. So it's 3 cents less, but every time it goes up, it's up again. And I usually do 3,500 initial tax bills, and then I do the second billing. That could be half, 3/4, it depends on who pays, so that may be something we would want to increase just a little bit.
So add 500 to.
To postage?
contractual? Yeah, for postage.
500 for postage, right? Okay, all right. Any other thoughts on contractual for town clerk? Okay. I'm interested to get people's thoughts on our legal expenses. I know in '23, we're at almost 39,000, in '24, almost 70. Right now, we are at about 15, halfway, more, a little bit more than halfway through the year. We're budgeting 40, but I'm wondering if 40 is necessary. And that's a question that I'm looking for some thoughts on.
Where did you say we are right now?
Law.
Law, so.
No, I mean, where are we number-wise for law?
15, almost $15,000, 14,951. And so Danae and I have gone back and forth on this one. I'm more inclined to be somewhere between 30 and 35. Again, it's kind of a dart, but I don't know that if we haven't spent, we're just a little bit more than halfway to 30 at this point, and we're at the beginning of September.
It's 35.
35? Jim,
20
thoughts?
In 2023, we spent 38,000. In 2024, we spent
Mhm.
69,000. And we're budgeted at 40. So 40 would have covered 2023. We would have fallen well short in 2024.
Yep.
I would say leave it where it is because we don't know what's in store. So
We-
better to have it there and budgeted.
I mean, I agree with Jim, we still have the sewer project left, we
Mhm.
still have,
Okay.
we still have a lot of projects left, but we might need to talk to the attorneys, and I'd rather see it in there.
Okay. Again, just, I
Yeah.
saw it as a
Yeah.
pretty big gap between where we're at now and what we budgeted. That's the reason for the question.
Yeah.
As long as they're going to be brief, Beth, I'm just want to try to get through as much of this as possible. No, it was 70, it was almost 70,000 in 2024. I'd have to take a look back. Danae, any
The Elderwood.
Elderwood, was that? Right, the pilot.
The pilot thing there, yep.
Right. Right.
And again, I don't know.
That's right, Elderwood and-
If there's gonna be any such thing, I don't know where any of that stands, so that could be a driving force, and again, you just never know what's coming at you legally. But the sewer, if we have sewer expenses.
It's gonna be in the sewer.
It would be, so we don't have to worry, okay, that's good to
Yeah,
know.
so we wouldn't have to worry about the sewer project.
They would even pay for the lawyer fees.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, there's
Sewer
a little
district,
line
yes.
in the sewer capital project, so that all sewer stays in sewer.
Okay, that's good to know.
The pilot, Elderwood, and, huh,
Cavan lawsuit. The Cavan lawsuit,
Oh, the guy who slipped?
oh, yeah, that's right, we do have that one too.
Yep.
Okay,
it's on appeal.
yep. So leave it, I guess, leave it at 40 for now. We can revisit if we need to. All right, next is personnel services, which encompasses the admin clerk, bookkeeper, safety officer, IT. One of the questions that came up, Danae, and I'm not sure if I've got, perhaps you might, but we're at 3.27% increase over last year, when I'm not sure why it's not for. Is IT, are we paying less for IT services, or did is there somebody that's not getting do you see where I'm?
I'm not sure if I would have to go back and see if I kept my notes as far as how many hours I budget. It might be just a slight difference in estimating how many hours we get from IT.
Okay,
And I may have changed, I feel like I didn't have it quite right last year between, the admin clerk's salary split over a couple lines. So
okay,
I would just have to go back and make sure that I use the same number of hours.
okay.
And like, I mean, the ones above it, like, I don't really trust that percent change, because if you look up, you know, like, at the clerk's line, it's a straight 4% increase, didn't increase their contractual any, but it says that total increase is 3.28, so why is that four
Got it.
across the board? So I'm not
Because it's
quite,
in,
the computer gets those.
because it's incorporating the 10,000.
The 10,000.
Is the total.
Yep.
So it's gonna be lower because we didn't increase the contractual.
All right. And contractual on the personnel side is email, Zoom, payroll software, and postal supplies. Any thoughts or questions on this one, guys?
Everything's going up.
Same
I
thing
know.
with, same thing with
Yeah.
postage is, are we okay with the 2,000?
Yeah.
Okay,
So we'll leave personnel as it is?
Yep.
Okay, enough. Just want to be sure before I move on.
Big, right?
Let's see, engineer, that's out. Elections, that basically has remained the same. Now we're into public property, parks and public properties. So looking at this, we've seen about a 4.86% jump on personnel services. As far as other purchases, I know there's stuff that needs to go into Joe Minder. And then the 135 that's sitting there is actually a decrease by almost 8.8%. Another decrease for Tannery Pond lease, and then Weaver Town Court up by 13.8. The 135 is for building maintenance, so I think that's gas, heat, all the maintenance stuff that goes on with the building. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything here.
Can we go back to elections for just a minute?
Sure.
Did we get a bill from Warren County for the election services, for their mailings of our stuff? I haven't seen anything, I just didn't know if it came to you directly. I don't know, like with them, that's just for them showing up with their equipment on election days and that sort of thing, so I didn't know
It looks like we paid them 3,500
for the last few years. Okay, just wanted to be sure, I hadn't seen
And I
anything.
think they would email you if there was gonna be an
Yep.
increase for the level of county bill about that kind of thing.
Yes, they'll always take our money. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's okay. All right, back to parks and public properties. Thoughts on this budget? Pete, thorough job as usual. Thank you. No? Anna, Paul,
fine.
Hunter,
Yeah,
okay,
I'm-
all right. I'm just looking, I mean,
I see nothing bad here. I mean, we've reduced costs in some areas. Others have gone up. The only one's gone up significantly is the Weavertown building.
right,
Yeah, but if you look overall, I think it's,
I know.
Yeah,
It's
yes,
down.
which is
It's
great,
gone
yeah.
up
it's, he's,
13% of 30
it's
versus.
flat.
yeah.
like
His budget is
9% of
flat.
135, which is less.
Right.
Yeah, very good.
Okay, all right. On to property and casualty government support, so first line is unallocated insurance. Yes, up by 11.6%. We might be able to, if we look at deductibles, we might be able to get that down a bit. But this is, well, wait, that's, suppose, man, I think this is
Buildings,
buildings,
everything.
everything,
Buildings, liability.
liability,
Everything not health.
correct, everything not health insurance. Yes, Bruce? I don't have an answer to that question. Okay. What's that? You did that in 23. Okay. 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 All right. So one of the things that Diana, I want to have a conversation with Mr. Carpenter about potentially looking at increasing our deductible, which might then decrease our actual overall cost. But that's the only way we would actually be able to bring that down. So thoughts, just leave it as is for the time being and maybe come back to it? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay,
Yep.
good enough. All right. Traffic, that's the light. And then animal, we're down to animal control. So that again, we're looking at a 4% increase. One of the things that we are supposed to be doing is hiring out an actual boarding if we get strays. And so far, we have not followed through on that one. We do have it in the budget for $3,500. And that's Barks and Rec, I believe, is the company that we would be looking at. Am I got, right?
That was the only one we got.
Or we could get to respond.
Yeah, I reached out to multiple Countryside, regular vets, that sort of thing, and a lot of folks aren't doing that anymore. Countryside isn't, Glens Falls Animal Hospital isn't, Adirondack Animal Hospital is not, Parks and Rec were the only ones that gave us any kind of information and numbers to work with for this year.
So how does that work?
If we need to board them, we had a situation where we took in a couple of dogs and it was an emergency situation. And we ended up going to Glens Falls Animal Hospital, and after a little bit of work, we found a place for them to be boarded, which was Lucky Paws Rescue in
Yeah.
Argyle.
They're great.
So that would be, the Barks and Rec would be like the Lucky Dog
Good.
Rescue. We just wouldn't have to go through all the work. They would directly go to the Barks.
And then
Rec.
we pay like a daily fee.
There's a fee, there's a contractual fee
Okay.
that figured out to be about 3,500.
The 2,500 is just to have a contract with them, then you pay for what services they get.
And they have to, I believe, do rabies shots that we would be responsible for as well.
So-
At any boarding
Bless you.
facility.
Sure.
Bless you. would do that. So,
Okay.
The only downside, I think, to the 3,500 is we chew through 3,500 pretty quickly. If we were to end up, but it,
This is 2,500 is 2,500 off the top of the board.
Right.
What could have happened in the most recent situation is what would we have done with those dogs if we couldn't get any at the hospital, like those dogs at the hospital to come in for. But
in the
what would we have
emergency
done if
situation,
everybody
right?
happened to be full? What would we have done?
no, I know, I get that. I'm just,
The 2,500 guarantees that
if they have a
That
spot.
they will take them, yep. Yep. I don't know, $1,000, I mean, if it's $25 a day to board them, you're looking at eating up $1,000 quite quickly as
Yep.
well as shots and that sort of thing. So,
But I still think that we should be following where we need to be as far as having a contract with a company to board the dogs.
and if we can get, because that's kind of a new warehouse. Is it required? My understanding was it was
That's why-
required and we just
yeah.
haven't been able to.
Correct.
Right.
Mhm.
Because I don't understand ag markets, but I believe.
Per ag and markets, it is a requirement.
I think Mark has a.
Yeah.
The county, a lot of that was working on a relationship with the SPCA. I wonder how far that has gone.
I haven't heard anything.
It has not been, I've not heard word one while I've been down there. No, no,
That would be very nice.
it would be. Okay. So leave animal control as is with the 4% and then 3,500? We good with that? Okay,
Yes.
all right.
I'll check with the county on that.
We can, yeah. Again, it's not,
Certainly.
okay, so now, this has been a question going on in the office.
Mhm.
I think Danae, Jean, perhaps even Joanne, thought we passed a resolution to have Beth Mar be our health officer at one of these meetings, and it was, I believe it was a floor resolution.
I cannot find anything. in the
We
meeting
cannot
minutes.
find any paperwork that says I could have swore, Beth, you and I discussed it, and then we did a am I wrong?
And
Okay.
have
I don't
an
remember it, and I
office or
didn't miss a
anything like
meeting.
that.
I don't remember the full resolution.
No.
All right, well, we're gonna have to, at some point, do a floor resolution to have Dr. Mar be our health officer if she wishes to be our health officer. Okay. All right. Any questions about the health officer line?
Make sure we get one.
Pardon me?
Make sure we get one.
Yeah,
sworn
no,
in.
that will be on the next agenda. That will be. Vital statistics, Jim, you were concerned about an increase versus the stipend?
Yeah, I just, it doesn't increase. My take on it, this is a role that Gene plays.
Mhm.
I understand that it's for issuing certificates and the price here is offset by the fees. If we're increasing 4%, I guess I don't understand why we're not increasing the Register of Vital Statistics by 4% as well.
I don't think the fees per New York State, say for a death certificate copy or a marriage license, that has not changed, so I'm still taking in the same amount per piece of paper. It's just the number of them that I do each year.
Yeah.
Would indicate or dictate what the fees would be, or what the total would be. So, and you don't know from year to year.
So the 26 is an estimate then? Is that what you're,
No, the 20,
okay, thank you.
yeah, it's a stipend.
Thank you.
I guess separate from the budget question then is it possible to set a resolution that any fee that comes in will be then remitted to the clerk? So that if it's 3,000 in fees that come in, then the clerk gets 3,000 fees as opposed to trying to guesstimate what that would be. So her as vital statistics if it's gonna be fee-based, then she should get those fees based off of what comes in. So is that,
You don't know from year to year. I mean,
yeah, but at the end of the year, we can do a reconciliation and
I
make
do
sure that
every
you.
month. It's on the monthly reports
Okay.
that I get to Kevin,
Yep.
what comes in as far as marriage licenses
And dog
birth certificates,
licenses
dog
and, yep,
licenses.
yep,
Yep.
okay. So leave vital statistics and look into doing it as a fee based. Okay, all right.
Wouldn't that mean that I would have to do a 1099? Anything over $600, I would have to voucher each one as it comes in.
What works better for you? And what do you feel is
I
fair to?
Don't want to do a 1099 for fees for the town. If it goes over the 2,600, then it goes over the 2,600.
Okay.
It just, for me personally, it would be easier just to do the flat rate.
Yep.
If it's something you folks want me to do, then
No,
I
We'll do the
can
flat.
do a.
okay, all
We'll
right,
do the flat rate.
then.
okay, we'll leave it there. All right, next one was,
Bruce has a question.
yep, okay. Okay, all right. Thanks, Bruce. Okay, medical center is no longer part of the budget. That money has been no longer paying to them. All right, next is highway superintendent, that's salary plus contractual, which is training, supplies, conference registration. Anybody got any questions or concerns about transportation, highway superintendent, salary, and incidentals? Nope, we're good? Okay. Moving on. Yeah, street lighting. National Grid.
So,
Danae has basically, we're looking at a 21% increase in lighting our streets from $38,000 a year to $46,000 a year. Yeah,
It's costing them less to do it with the modern LEDs too, considerably less.
and unfortunately, guys, this is not one of those, I believe we can negotiate.
So the rates, so.
No, we
No,
haven't.
every one that's been replaced, there are some, by the church up on Main Street, there's one that's an LED, there's a few on, everyone that's getting replaced is going to LED, their costs are going down,
But the fees are not.
right?
As far as going out onto the market, yeah, no, I don't know that I've had that conversation on more than one occasion.
For myself, I'd rather see a 75% decrease, because only 75% of the lights in town are operational at any given time.
Guys, I'm not,
I understand, that's just one of my.
but I,
Light a fire under them.
So I do think though the streetlights come built the same way our buildings do, so if the light's not working in theory, if we ask them to fix too many, we might have to add them.
Yep.
Kelly has a question.
yes, Kelly.
I'm gonna be the draw my start to be in 2012. If this town would decide to go solar, you would cut all your costs. And we have perfectly wonderful, great place to go solar. So look into it. We figured that 2012 town $40,000 a year.
Okay.
A little more expensive now. Still worth it long.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Jonas has a question.
Yes, Mr. Konis.
Everybody in the room here pays those as a fee to National Grid every month
For,
develop that they save money for. Some of those grants are available through NYSERDA. Some of those grants are available directly through National Grid. And in parallel, Kelly's statement, the town of Greenwich has done a phenomenal job with solar street lights. And you pay attention as you drive past the traffic circle in town, Hannaford there, Fort Dealer's there, Chevy dealer there, they're all lined with solar street lights. Wouldn't surprise you that with a little bit of investigation, that through NYSERDA and or through National Grid, that they would be able to help us out with those. You ever seen those guys?
probably. Okay, all right, all right. Let's see, anybody, am I missing anybody? Okay. Parks, this is an encumbrance for sidewalks, that at some point we will eventually use, but it needs to stay in the budget at this point. Next is the Octex, which is at 99, $41, an increase of about 6%.
And that is offset with revenue, so that's a zero.
Yep. Yep. Veterans contractual, that's pretty much gonna remain, well, it's 1980 for up 1%. And then program for the aging, which is for our seniors, we're looking at a jump from 6,000 up to 25,000. But what people need to understand when you hear that is that this is all based on how Pete structured his budget. And Pete did not, even though we were seeing a $25,000 increase towards program for the aging, his budget basically was flat. So he moved stuff around. So we were able to actually put $25,000 into that line so we can start basically looking at how to approach the meal site and programs for our seniors.
So the intention is to create our own meal site?
We're walking down that road. We're walking down that road. Right. Yes.
And contracted transportation with a independent carrier?
It's being explored. We currently use veteran services through Warren County.
Yep.
We have not yet seen what the new rate would be to stay with them. Our contract should be expiring soon. So we're exploring other private contracts.
That was the one time or 2 times a month, every Thursday?
That would be the whole. Currently, it's
Yep.
one Thursday per month. We would like to try to get to a once or twice per week,
Gotcha.
something that can serve both local and the trips to Queensbury, Glen Falls area.
So I know that we paid 2,000 for that this past year. So that was 2,000 a month for one trip. So,
Well, yeah, 2,000 for one trip.
yep, okay. Okay. And if we bump, yep, fine with it.
Okay. Anybody? Thoughts?
Nope. Good.
Okay. Again, I'm just,
Yeah, no,
okay.
good.
All right.
Glad if we're headed down the path of,
yeah, no, it's, and there's a lot of work left to be done, but we need to start doing something because the county isn't. They do a lunch every day.
Yeah.
And then I know Meals on Wheels delivers at the meal site? Or you-
They provide through Meals on Wheels and at the meal site. If we say 30 per day, we're probably not lying by much. The meal site itself is any place from 6 folks to a dozen, something like that. There are 25, please don't quote me on this, but I believe there's 25 approximately 25 that they send out Meals on Wheels. So probably 30 per day would be pretty close. They have active meal site. Meals are provided on site 5 days out of the week. And Meals on Wheels goes out 3 times a week.
Okay, any other questions? Okay. That's OG. Let's go to culture, recreation, parks. So we're looking at personnel services line, a jump of about 4.5%. And I think that, if I heard correctly, Pete, is that partially due to OT? Is that right?
More, slightly more than 4% increase for lifeguard.
Right, okay, all right. Then the next line, that's 75,000, that's for truck, disc golf, picnic tables. And then under, I want to say contractual, the 110 is just basically general supplies that, where are you? Including, I believe, no, that's, all right, contractual. And then there's also 10,000 for the Johnsburg garage. Should we ever get the county to sign off on that one? Any questions or thoughts on the cultural and recreation parks?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I had a long talk with Fred the other day. We plan on closing the pit on December. Once the mine is closed, the permit is taken out in the town of Johnsburg, and it's park property. It really isn't the responsibility of the highway director at that point, highway superintendent, to coordinate and close the pit. So I'm going to suggest that we create a new budget line after the Johnsburg Park, 0.43 for pit closure, and move the 75,000 that was budgeted in Fred's budget and put it into the parks budget. And that way Pete can coordinate the closure of the pit. In talking with Fred, there's still going to potentially be a need for trucks. There's going to be a need for manpower. And in our 284 agreement, we can put pit closure, assisting the parks director, with vehicle and manpower when available. And that will be part of Fred's 284 agreement. That solves a lot of the bookkeeping issues, that if we move it over, Pete needs to hire the highway, then there's codes that get really confusing. But by putting it into the 284 agreement, that cleans it up nice. So I would suggest that we move that 75,000 from the highway over. And then what we'll need to do also is move 75,000 in revenue as far as real taxes, property taxes, from the highway to the general fund.
So 150 total moved around, we're just moving 75 and 75.
75 and 75.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
so
what I thought.
75 real property revenue from highway over to general, taking the 75,000 out of the highway for pit closure, forming a new budget line under parks. And then, because it is parkland, and once it's closed, it's not on parcel C. And it's then becomes Pete's job to coordinate the closure, the DEC, contacting National Grid, taking down the berm, all of that, so. Pete,
So
You're talking to-
I don't disagree necessarily with what the concept of this. My concern is that we did a floor resolution for a pretty complex, big project without presenting any process or plan to the community, which I think in hindsight was a mistake. And I don't necessarily disagree with this plan or this idea because it's true, it is now going to be parkland, and I do think it needs to be a cooperative project. And it makes sense, but I would like to have a little more discussion about the actual plan for closing the pit, because to your point of it being a really big project, the $75,000, moving it here, moving another $75,000, is it going to be more than that? Does Pete need more support than that from us? I think really looking at the scope of the project to get a sense of it would be helpful for me as a board member. Is this a capital project? You know, is this something that we need to look at other funding for? Would be helpful for me to wrap my head around.
Paul, Arnold, thoughts?
I hope that both Pete and Fred have been in conversation with each other on the various points. And I'd be interested to know, Fred, if you have any input on this.
I've discussed this with company Williams, and I agree with our property.
Okay,
They want to take it on, I'm all for it.
so I guess the next question I would have is looking up at Pete and saying, how full is your plate right now? And what happens if we throw another major project onto your plate?
I love it. I'll reiterate what I said at the last board meeting. This isn't becoming park property.
It
This
is.
has been park property
Okay,
the entire time that we've operated a mine on it. And it should have never been considered to be, spread sole responsibility to close it, reclaim it. At the very least, it's something that we should be doing together. It sounds like Jim's proposal allows for that if needed, for me to access resources through Fred and the highway department. To your points, Anna, there's a lot of discussion that has
Yeah.
to happen in terms of the exact process for the reclamation. I have yet to see a copy of the actual reclamation plan, but I know that there may be one or two copies floating around in the community. So hopefully very soon, we can start those discussions. I like the fact that we have the next few months until the actual closure, to start getting our ducks in a row. And then we make our plan so that we can hit the ground running as soon as the snow's gone in the spring. It is a big job, but it's something that is long overdue, and something that I would be happy to try to help
Okay.
with Fred's help, lead to get this done once and for all.
So you want something more, more meat
Yeah.
on the bones as far as
No, I'm good
proposal?
with, I'm good with moving it, but I do think like,
We need a
again,
plan.
how
We
it
need a
came
plan.
about,
Right.
like floor resolution.
Yep.
I would like to see some
Yep.
plan and process.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Enough. Okey-doke. All right, where are we? I think youth programs, right? Youth
Yes.
programs, okay, so youth programs, we are looking at, as far as for personnel line, a 16% jump.
I misspoke to
This is the this is the change in pay.
Right, lifeguards, it's a little more of a, than 4% jump to try and stay competitive with Minerva and the other local towns. It's also the addition of one more counselor position to continue to expand our summer youth program, which we have done successfully for the past 3 years.
Okay,
Can you, where are we? 'Cause
so,
we did the 160.
so here
Are we moving?
is, we are here.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. So, and that's with an additional counselor, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Any thoughts on this, folks? My board?
We've added positions, so. that
No,
covers
glad we
it,
have
right?
lifeguards.
Yeah.
I know they're hard to find.
Okay.
It's been difficult. We're lucky to have some local kids who are willing to get certified. Hopefully they'll stick with us for a few years.
Pete, did they use the program, that free program down this summer? Did anybody?
One of them took it through the free program
Yeah.
in Essex County.
Yeah,
The others had done it right in Minerva
Okay.
last year. It's good for 2 years at a time. So
okay,
depending on who may or may not return next year, we may need to do some recertification.
okay,
And I am steering them towards the free ones.
yeah,
This year, it didn't cost us the town, anything for our lifeguard, but in the past, we have paid for the certification if they committed to work for us for 2 summers.
okay. Yeah, that's great.
So, yeah, we saved $800 or $900.
And I think they'll bust them down too if we can organize it. Like for that free, yeah, I think so. Yeah, okay.
All the counties around us have gone to offering those free trainings, because again, everybody is desperate for lifeguards.
This may not be the time for this question, but Pete, has any thought been given to the return of our beach area down where it has existed historically?
This will be an unpopular opinion with a few folks in the room, but I have no interest in reopening the swimming beach here in North Creek, and that has not been factored into my budget. That would have been in the parks personnel line, and that's where we used to fund 2 lifeguard positions. Those were removed, I believe, going into 2024. We have not funded them at all the last few years. What I would continue to advocate for is developing potentially camping, fishing opportunities, including the handicap access area, possibly another composting toilet, something like that down there. Turning it more into a Gurney Lane sort of a feel where we have day use, picnicking, camping, dog walking, certainly addressing the aesthetics, because there are some concerns with the overgrowth in the pond. But at this point, I don't see swimming as a viable option for us.
Kelly?
Well, Pete knows that I'm gonna speak against what you just said, but all I'm gonna say is, I think this is a decision that needs to be made by the residents of the town, given that the last time the pond was closed, which was back in the 80s or so, there was a huge uproar, and finally, they were able to reinstate some form of, it was the weir that was used to dam the pond at the town. And, the people want it, so I'm not sure that, I think it should be open up for the people to talk about it, that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, all right. Jake? Minerva,
Minerva.
they're up in Minerva, yeah.
For the
basically.
youth program that
Yep.
they all share.
Yep. No. Okay, we're good with youth service program? As it is, that jump 16%, almost 17%, but an additional counselor. Any other questions or concerns?
No,
You want to jump into the town board meeting? It's almost 7.
Yeah, we're gonna probably let's just, if we don't mind, it looks like we've just got a couple more
On this page.
on
you wanna
this
finish
page, and then we can, yeah, so, the museum is gonna remain at 5,000. Historian is gonna be up 4% to $2,600. Those two items, any questions or concerns about those?
Contractual is the same.
Good to go.
Anybody?
Get our
Okay.
money's worth.
All right, so then I think what we'll do is we'll then start on other cultural recreation at our next meeting. So that's where we're at. Okay. Thank you for your patience, folks, very much. Okey dokey.
Thank you. Denise,
This is
Denise,
Yep,
Denise
let's
did
rock
check
and
my
roll.
numbers, by the way.
Well, this is something with the glass.
All right.
This is very good.
That's why I wanted to.
Do I,
Very impressive.
Gene, do I need to call us into the actual board meeting now at this point?
Unless we want to wait for, I'll help you in just a minute. I have that. Let Joe do his.
Oh, yeah,
piece,
let
and
Joe,
then-
yeah, let, so, yeah,
and then
Joe,
we'll
do you want to
follow
do
regular
your,
board
where,
meeting.
where's Mr. Connolly?
He just had to leave from.
Oh, okay.
Pages go up.
I don't know, I just know that it's their,
Yeah, it's on the corner. No, his bag's still there, so.
A call came in, so I don't know.
so are we gonna drop the screen down? So do you want all of us in the, all
Michael, are we going to drop the screen down for this? Okay.
right, so I guess we move to the audience.
Again, everybody may have a different opinion about what those numbers should be, but I just wanted to get a conversation started.
Pretty factual, but you put down there what's going on. I mean, it's not really, why you don't explain why.
Yeah, and it's just my thought, and when
They're
somebody,
gonna run out of money. They're gonna go. They're going out of balance.
it did make me feel good when the teacher was like, oh, yeah, just put this in. Okay, I'm not slowly getting this, slowly.
Here it is.
All right, Jeff Mintz. Do you want a mint? No. Good, how are you?
How much you know about the real estate business down below, that name is poison.
Oh,
Yeah, I would love them in the town, let alone have anybody do
We'll
it.
get it from up top.
It is a bit.
This is the final product.
What do you want?
Great.
Tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
is this what memes did?
Sorry, folks. So what happened? So go back to that. So we gotta swap the views again. High presenter view. Nope, we need to display settings. Here's to start it. Yes. There it is. There it is. All right. Sorry, folks. All right, but we're here. Anyway, I'm Joe Connolly. I'm the director of Johnsburg Emergency Squad. I want to thank you, everybody. Thank the board for giving me a few minutes. Talk about EMS. I hope everybody got a chance to get a flyer, which we made up. If not, definitely grab some after, because during this month, we're going to be out in the community with flyers and clinics to spread the word on the service we provide and how and why we think it's so important. Thanks to Jerry Harris for doing such a great job with those pie charts. And my daughter Mia put it together, and Francis Gaffney, who painted that watercolor on the front page as a donation, which I've used every chance I get. But we're going to start with a little history and the evolution of Johnsburg EMS to where it is now. That first ambulance arrived in North Creek in June 1949. It was housed and cared for at the Swain Funeral Home, so it probably had double duties. And it was operated by the Barton Fire Department. 2-man crews were assigned to cover the week. The squad averaged about 60 calls a year in the 50s. There was little medical training back then. It was get them in the back and get them to the hospital. In the early 70s, the emergency medical technician was born. The EMT was trained to give basic life support, oxygen to trouble breathing, bandaging, splinting. North Creek had one of the first EMTs in the state, Ralph Dubé, whose EMT number was 007. In
In comparison, Bill Thomas' number from the late 70s was 26,125. Our latest member, Brendan Tome, who took his EMT class last year, is 539,322. The class today takes almost 200 hours to complete. Look at that crew. In 1980, Bill Thomas became the captain and his wife Carol, the dispatcher. When there was an emergency, you called a local number, which went to the Thomas home. Carol knew where everyone was and what they were doing, and when she called them, she made it hard to say no. This was especially true of Bill, whom she shoved out of bed many early mornings to take a call. Bill still has the button on the wall of his house that she would push to set off the alarm. Back then, all the EMS members had to also be North Creek firefighters and to live in the North Creek Fire District. A growing number of folks wanted to help but didn't live in the district and didn't want to be firemen. And at that time, there was still no such thing as fire women. In 1993, the EMS separated from the fire department and established the Town of Johnsburg EMS. In 2000, they completed that addition to the Scout Hall on the corner of Peaceful Valley and Route 8. That's now the Parks Department. And in that same year, they incorporated as a nonprofit 501c3. In the 80s and 90s, EMTs were getting more responsibilities and more training. And a new kind of pre-hospital provider arrived, the paramedic. A paramedic could do many of the critical interventions that an emergency physician could do. It was called advanced life support, and paramedics were able to start IVs and give drugs and interpret EKGs and control airways. Paramedics had to do 10 times the training of an EMT. Rick and Ann Morse were early advanced life support, and then came John McAlonin, Jerry Gardner, Jimmy Watsaw. Even our former supervisor, Ron Vanzelo, was a paramedic. More and more, it became the standard of care for critical calls, and the squad would often have to mutual aid for advanced life support help. In the late 90s, it was often Minerva who sent over the medics. In 1991, they had 11 of them. We're the largest group in the whole county. But whether it's ALS or BLS, the bulk of the calls always come down to a handful of providers. Folks like Rose and Ken Allen, who's in the ambulance there with Roger Lewis. They probably still hold the record for most calls taken. In 1980, the fire department did 271 calls. Many of those were transports home. By 2000, it was up to 333. Each call can take 3 hours, and that's a lot when you already work 1 or 2 jobs. I moved to North Creek in the spring of 2001. I was retired from New York City EMS. I thought I was done, but then 9/11 happened. I watched on TV as the towers fell, feeling hopeless like everyone else. I joined the squad that day. When I was in the city, we thought it was crazy that anyone would do this work for free. But I found I loved it, and the people who do this are the best. Look at Paul Hyde in the middle with his wife, Debbie. She did a ton of calls. There's something about doing this kind of work for your community, taking care of your neighbors, that's completely different from anything I'd known before. The record shows there were 333 calls in 2000, but that's only the calls that we got to. There were many more that were missed, and each call the squad couldn't get out for, the responder was often Empire Ambulance coming out of Glens Falls. That's a long time to wait. By this time, Johnsburg was part of the 911 system with Warren County, and who would triage calls as advanced life support or needing basic life support of an EMT. And if it was advanced life support, then a paramedic had to respond, which put additional pressure on the agency. By 2004, the squad couldn't keep up, and the board decided to start billing patients to pay for staff in the day. One of the biggest fears was that people would stop calling if they knew they were getting billed. But the opposite happened. In 2004, the squad answered 436 calls. By 2010, it was 610. The squad hasn't missed the first tone since. We were not the first ones to do this, nor the last. Our story has been played out all over the country. The squad breaks from the fire department, gradually loses volunteers, whether to demands of training or the time constraints or the stress of the calls, and starts billing to pay staff. By 2014, the squad was a professional staff of round-the-clock providers, standing by ready to respond. The quality of care and the coverage of calls was better than it had ever been, but it was not sustainable with billing alone. The town had given the squad the same amount for the previous 10 years, $65,000, and the squad was going into the red. We proposed going to a tax district and to increase the town's contribution significantly to $210,000. That would provide competitive wages and a health stipend and deal with the increasing costs of equipment and to pay for management to manage what had become a rather large nonprofit agency with 25 employees and responsibilities to the town, county, and state. Squad members put up signs and went door to door, finding more support than we could have imagined. The town board approved the resolution unanimously, and in a referendum that fall, the town's people approved the district overwhelmingly. The equipment on that table was purchased through a FEMA grant that Kelly Nessel put in for $218,000. Every year we do an annual fundraiser, which gets us about $45,000. This year we're hoping to replace one of those EKG monitors, which cost $50,000 each. The Mercedes Sprinters we use may not look as impressive as the big box ambulances in other towns, but they're half the cost, more fuel efficient and more reliable. In 2020, we merged with Minerva, and their town now pays us a proportion equal to the proportion of calls that we do there. Just because you live an hour from the hospital doesn't mean you shouldn't get the highest standard of care, but there's a cost to it, and that's what we call the cost of readiness. Having a paramedic and an EMT standing by ready when you need them in a proper building with ambulances and all the equipment costs money. If you take $1 million budget and divide it by the 600 calls we average, it equals about $1,666 a call. 60% of our patients are government insurance, Medicare or Medicaid, and that only pays about $250 to $850 a call. We charge what most other squads in the area are charging, the billing rates that are actually set by the town. And that is, we charge that because it's the highest amount that the best insurance will pay. Doesn't make sense for us to charge less than that. The people with government contracts don't have to pay that. But billing only covers 35% of the costs, and we need other income. All the squads in the county pay staff now, at least those who go to more than 100 calls, for full crews to stand by and to pay for management to run them. I make $45,000 as the director of Johnsburg EMS. It's a 24/7 job running $1 million nonprofit with 25 employees. Other towns pay much more. The cost of readiness for Johnsburg is very similar to the budgets for North Warren and Warrensburg and Lake George. Unfortunately, we don't have the money Lake George does, or the call volume of a Queensbury. Yet we are all competing for this very small pool of paramedics and EMTs. We are a nonprofit 501c3 contracted by the town of Johnsburg and the town of Minerva to provide EMS service to those districts. And we also provide mutual aid to other towns as well, which we bill for. 15% of our calls come from Minerva, and they pay about 15% of our budget. We are asking Minerva for a 10% increase this year. The town of Johnsburg and the town of Minerva. The town of Johnsburg gave us a big boost in 2023, which allowed us to offer health insurance and an IRA and more competitive wages. We are very grateful. We asked for 2% last year for payroll and another 2% this year. And hopefully we don't have to ask for more than 2% for many years to come. Not only do we have the best group of providers, but we are incredibly fortunate that all but one of our full and part-timers live here in town. They carry AEDs and first aid bags And when a bad one comes out, they all come out. They're paid to stay in the building on duty, but they volunteer from home too. Not only does that expand our coverage, but it keeps that feeling of community that cannot be replaced, of neighbors helping neighbors. This is our duty crew on Tuesdays. They were on duty today. It's paramedic Michelle San Antonio and EMT Tim Seeley, both who live here in town. 2 months ago, our medic Michelle delivered a baby girl on the side of the Northway. Tim and Mike Corey helped out. Some nights, this is the best job in the world, and some nights it's the absolute worst. The average household pays around $100 a year to have Michelle and Tim standing by, ready for that worst night for you or your loved one when you need us most. I hope that never comes, but we want you to know that we're here for you. Thanks. I'm not going to take any questions, but if you want, please see me after, or my contact info is on the flyer. Thank you very much. You getting flashbacks up there?
Thank you. All right. All right, this is, it's about 7:22. I'm calling this regular board meeting, Town of Johnsburg to order. I need a resolution, or I need a motion to accept the minutes of August 19th.
Motion? Yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments? Okay, seeing none. Next, resolution to appropriate grant funding program for the aging. Town has received a grant of $1,000 from the community fund for Gore Mountain Region Adirondack Community Foundation for the purpose of providing social activities for meals and seniors. Director of Public Parks and Public Properties would like to establish a budget line code. The Town of Johnsburg would like to thank Arthur Webb for completing the grant application. Now there would be resolved, Town of Johnsburg Town Board authorizes increasing budget line A3772 programs for the aging to the amount of $1,000 to establish the sub-account. Need a motion to bring this to the floor, please.
Second.
Okay, any comments or questions?
I haven't seen the grant paperwork, or I know about it, but, if it's gonna cost a year, we'll have to encumber it. So it's not locked in. That was the purpose of establishing the sub code, is the other traffic from the other offices, stuff, so if it's costing over, it'll be an encumbrance.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did I get a first and a second on this one?
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none, call for vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, resolution to appropriate grant funds. The town has received a grant for $500 from the community fund, amplifying our voices, allowing a microphone for board meetings so people can actually be heard in Zoom land, which would be nice. I need a motion to bring this to the floor, please. Motion.
Second.
Okay.
My only concern, and Michael and I were actually working on getting a microphone to do that with, because it has to be compatible with the system up there. So just before anybody goes out and buys anything, if they could check with Michael and maybe Don Herninger, just to make sure whatever we're getting is gonna be compatible with up top.
Okay,
Please and thank you.
all right. Yes, Kelly? Yes, correct, yes. Yes, correct. Yep, I, okay. Can be heard. Okay, all right. I'm sorry, do we have a first and a second? My apologies.
Yes.
Okay. Any other conversations or concerns on this one? I seeing none, I call for a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, next is resolution for special event permit, Adirondack Brewery. Tannery Pond is having Community Day and Outdoor Show September 20th, whereas Adirondack Brewery will be a vendor at this event, whereas Adirondack Brewery is requesting a permission to serve alcohol at this event, as they have done in the past. Now therefore be it resolved, Town of Johnsburg Town Board authorizes special event permit for Adirondack Brewery to serve alcohol at the September 20th Community Day and Outdoor Show at Tannery Pond. I need a motion to bring this to the floor, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any commentary?
Insurance certificate?
Yeah, I was gonna see, yeah, there's just the form here.
That's all I have from Canvas for right now. It's still a couple weeks out. We will be sure to have that.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions or concerns? I believe we're going to need a roll call vote for this.
I would like to add pending
Pending?
insurance.
Insurance.
Pending
Yeah,
insurance, okay.
that's
Yep.
Fair.
Agreed.
Pending, okay. All right,
It's the 20th?
20th, correct, yes.
Roll call, Councilman Hyde,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ballas,
Yes.
Supervisor Dean,
Yes,
Councilperson Williams,
Yep.
and Councilperson Stevens.
Opposed.
Okay,
okey-doke.
thank you.
One passes, okay. Resolution to approve installation of new playground fence at Scout Hall. Department of Public Property and Programs manages Sodom Field. Scout Hall installed new program last year. Fence to enclose the new playground would ensure safety for the children using it. Whereas playground fence was planned for and budgeted for installation in '25. Whereas the Director of Public Property and Programs has attempted to solicit 3 quotes for the necessary installation, with the lowest being the amount of $9,564 from ASCO Fence Supply Company. Now therefore be resolved, Town of Johnsburg Town Board authorizes the Director of Public Property and Programs to hire ASCO Fence to install new playground fence at Sodom Field. Need a motion to bring this to the floor, please.
Move. Second.
Okay. Any other questions or concerns? Thoughts on this?
No, even though we don't have 3 quotes, Pete, I think took,
Tried to.
reached out
I mean,
multiple
I
times.
think, I know it's been a slog, Pete.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking with it.
Time to get it going.
Yep. Okay.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We did get a first and second, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, guys. All right, resolution to approve painting of Kellogg Building, similar situation to the fence. Department of Public Property and Programs manages Riverfront Park buildings located there. Kellogg Building is in need of painting, which would preserve wood siding, greatly improve the aesthetics. Painting of this building is planned for and budgeted in '25. The Director of Public Property and Programs has attempted to solicit 3 quotes for painting, with the lowest being in the amount of $13,500 from R&Z Painting. Be it resolved, the Town of Johnsburg Board authorizes the Director of Public Property and Programs to hire R&Z Painting to pressure wash and paint the Kellogg Building at Riverfront Park at the cost of $13,500. I need a motion to bring this to the floor, please.
Move it for the purposes of discussion.
Yes, discussion?
Second.
Okay.
I would just ask Pete, there is a world of difference in these two quotes. Any input on that at all, or?
There is R&D is sole proprietor, not subject to prevailing wage. The other company is a large outfit that would mobilize 6 to 8 guys, lifts, the whole 9 yards. They're actually the ones that did this building.
Okay.
So they're very different companies. What I paid attention to were the actual work that was to be done, the pressure washing, the how much their estimates of the gallon stain and what type of stain they were planning to use. We're kind of lucking out because R&Z has a local connection, even though they're out of Coes or somewhere, they own property in Chestertown. So, the owner is hoping to do a nice fall project, come up, stay in his camp for a week, paint the building for us, make a little bit of money. It's a win-win for everybody, so.
Sounds good. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
I can appreciate the $30,000.
Yeah, it was,
That was a big number.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we have a first and a second, correct?
yep.
Okay. Any other conversation or questions? Seeing none, call for a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, next is resolution for the highway superintendent to hire MEOL position. Highway Department has an opening. It is expected that the new hire will take next available Warren County class to upgrade to CDL. But if I understand correctly, they're starting at the MEO pay rate, right? Okay, all right, so that's, all right. Therefore, be it resolved that the Town of Johnsburg Board authorizes the hire of John Stark at $21.50 per hour at the start date of September 8th. I need a motion to bring this to the floor, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any other questions or concerns?
Clarification on
Clarif-
MEO, just for the sake of the audience? For the sake of the audience, so clarification on MEO? Thank you. Thank you.
Fred, is the CDL required for the MEO position? Okay. Yeah. And then he's upgraded to an MEO dash L? Okay. But his position doesn't require a CDL? Great. Okay, thank you.
Just getting the CDL, will that change his,
Yes.
that will later on, he'll come back and it will be okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions or comments on this? Seeing none, call for vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Let's see here. Resolution to promote George Firth to mechanic position. Highway Department has an opening for mechanic. Highway Superintendent would like to promote George Firth. Therefore, be resolved. Town of Johnsburg Board authorizes promotion George Firth to $26.71 per hour with start date of September 8th. I need a motion to bring this to the floor, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. How's George doing, Fred?
Should be back probably next week.
Good.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, he's looking very good and,
I'm sure he is.
waiting on the document.
Okay, super.
So, he's gonna start part-time, Fred?
No, he'll be full-time.
Full-time. Okay, and, we're gonna get a medical release from his doctor that you got it, and that doctor will have his job description, restrict anything that he needs so that we're not forcing. Okay, okay, awesome. Perfect.
Okay, we got a first and a second, correct? Okay. Any other conversations around this resolution? Okay, seeing none, call for vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, resolution to rent shoulder machine for highway department. Highway department looking to finish up shoulder work. This would paid for by CHIPS money. Be it resolved, the town of Johnsburg authorizes highway superintendent to rent the needed shoulder machine with the money coming from CHIPS. I need a motion to bring this to the floor, please.
So moved.
Okay.
Second.
Any other questions or conversations around this resolution? Seeing none, call for a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Next is the Octex application. I apologize for getting this off so late. I'm not sure if people want to discuss it or if they want to hold off, but it is.
But
It is-
usually if it's gonna go up and be used, we have to vote on it for, as a new, because we voted on the rubric last time, because it was a change. So if this material is new.
I
we may
think,
have
well,
to-
and I know for a fact that what,
The budget form is new.
yeah, budget form is new, but I know for a fact that what Lily did is actually take some of this, I think is ours and other pieces of it are from the county. But I think it's pretty straightforward and self-explanatory. It's the piece on the back that could use a little touching up.
Well, and I think we didn't move this. We didn't do it first and second, did we?
No, we did not.
It's a board
Just
discussion,
discussion.
it's not a
We had the-
resolution at this point.
So I know that there was a lot of, people had some concern or confusion about how to fill out the budget form. So I know that's why Lily had added more information to it. She's unfortunately not here to answer those questions about what is on it.
Why don't we just,
Well, I mean, the occupancy tax
Yes.
starts today, though.
Yep.
Or started yesterday, so this has to go up on the website, this new form.
any questions or any thoughts or concerns about the
Yeah,
actual application?
If somebody would fill this out category, what does that apply to? I mean. where do
That's
you
what we're
find
gonna,
that
that's the biggest question mark I've got
So
right
I
now.
will tell you, when Lily sent it to me, it has tabs that you pull down. So,
Okay.
so when you pull it down, it lets you know what category you
What
can,
if you were somebody were to do it with a paper?
yeah. So there would need to be,
Just what the.
yeah. So there needs to be a paper option at town hall that tells you what the categories would be.
That's the only question I have.
Jim?
Yeah, I guess I don't have enough information. I'm fine with it moving forward.
Okay.
And getting it posted, but it would be, there's last minute.
Sorry, no, it's on me. Do we need, would this be a flow resolution then? Okay. Floor resolution to post the occupancy tax grant application on the town website with further, I would say, I guess, further changes and adjustments to the actual budget piece on the third page. So I need a motion to bring this to the floor, please.
Move.
Second?
Any other questions or concerns? Seeing none, call for a vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
Not in Johnsburg, no.
And
But it's been,
I will say it's pretty easy. It's very similar to what you did have before. And so it gives you more options for, I agree, it's less, it's, but I will say it's not the person who did its fault that it's coming to us last minute.
No,
or that
that's
it-
me.
Or that it's happening last minute, but we did need changes to the budget form because what it had, people didn't understand how to fill it out. So Lily worked really hard on this. But with the deadline being today and the occupancy tax, I mean, it is certainly not ideal. I agree 100%.
Do you have a help desk? Someone pick up the phone and say,
down tabs, that should.
Yeah, it does
that
have
as far
pull down
as the-
tabs.
As far as the online, yeah. that
Yeah,
would-
so-
And if maybe somebody can potentially print those out and keep it with a paper copy
Yeah.
sort of thing, just to make it easier for folks. So I just want to be clear, we are doing the floor resolution
To post.
to post to the town website pending further modification to the budget page. Is that what I'm understanding?
I think
Yes.
no, not pending because it is what it is. It's just we're gonna do a paper option with the categories listed so people know what they are.
Okay. All right. Did we had a first and a second?
Yes.
Okay. Call for a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll be abstaining for lack of information.
Okay. Jean, do you have I don't have for this executive session, what I'm supposed to read to move into executive session? I need, huh?
Before you go into executive session, because I'm not going to stick around, could you add to the agenda, for resolution set another workshop date?
Yes,
You did not get through the general fund. I think you guys are probably going to need two in October. But we had talked about adding one before the.
right. So let's add a budget workshop date for, I believe it's the 6th of October. Unfortunately, I don't have my phone, but I believe it's the 6th of October.
And then for notification purposes, I think it's easier to cancel a meeting than it is to add one.
7th.
7th,
So you may want to
Okay.
do 7th and then another date that's good for board members because you're going to need a finalized preliminary by the second meeting.
The 21st was,
By the 21st, we have to have the preliminary budget ready to go.
okay.
So if there's time, the week of the 13th before, because you can always cancel it if you don't need it, but with the notification requirements to the paper, it's harder to schedule it last minute. My apologies to interrupt.
It's okay. 7th, so 7th for another meeting, budget, and then before the 21st, anybody what are people's thoughts on the 15th of October? It's a Wednesday. Why don't we schedule it for the 15th with the idea that we can always cancel it?
6, and it would be 6 PM.
Yeah, 6 PM, budget on the Wednesday, August 5th, or October 15th. Right,
Public hearing or public workshop?
workshop.
Floor resolution to set a public workshop, October 7th and October 15th, to discuss the budget.
6 PM.
Yep.
Motion?
All right.
Need a
Need a
motion?
motion,
Motion?
please.
That was
Okay.
made.
Yep.
Well, I motion, you made it, and then someone needs to second it.
Gotcha.
Seeing any further discussion? Seeing none, call for vote. All those in favor? Aye.
Yes,
Okay.
Mark?
No. Planning to do that. All right, Jean, do you have I need
It's right on the.
now, do I call for, you read this and then,
close The regular board meeting.
okay, so I need to close the regular board meeting. I need a motion to close the regular board meeting.
Motion?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Neat.
and then on the agenda, it says executive session, the town board to call an executive session to discuss applicants for an appointed position.
Yes.
So we need to enter into.
Yes, so I need a motion to enter an executive session.
Motion?
Second?
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Stand. the assessor position. We will be setting having to set a public meeting notification.
I agree about this. I just happened to read it. I feel so bad for Lily, and I
And then
said it to her, and I told her, I said, whatever I say, you know, is not about you. She goes, I understand, but it has to go online.
So
I'm on the same page with you.
Right. So,
And it's not her fault.
oh, I know it is.
So that's why I was like,
Oh, I know.
I
I
said,
know.
Lily, you know, she goes, no, I know.
And that's
I
why,
just happened, she did share it with me, so I felt a little more, but I
Yeah.
understand exactly where you're coming from.
okay.
that's okay. It's going up online.
Yeah, but I felt you.
Jesus.
I felt you on that one.
Well, and I,
That was
Just
my,
those
that's
things.
my, on me, guys.
Yeah.
That's my fault.
No,
Oh.
that's okay.
Alright.
I feel like
and I
there's
think you
something.
can announce that.
Yeah, I'm going to. Yeah. Okay. All right, I need a motion to come out of executive session.
Motion.
Second.
Where's Arnold? Ar-
On top of the wooden hill there.
He's left. He's done.
Jeez, we still have a board meeting going on. What the heck?
Where is he?
He's up at
Chat
the,
with
Oh,
Pete.
he's up top.
We have a quorum.
We have a quorum.
Okay, good enough. We'll get started.
All in favor?
All right, all those in favor?
aye.
Aye, okay. So we have picked 4 candidates to interview for assessor. Within the next probably couple of days, what we will do is narrow down a date. A board meeting, special board meeting will be called. The candidates will be here. We will go into executive session and interview those candidates. My board members, have I missed anything?
Nope,
No.
perfect.
Yep, right on the mark.
Okay, so we're good.
Quick resolution to return to the regular board meeting, please.
Oh, yeah, can we, now that executive session is over, can I enter a motion, have someone enter a motion to return to the regular board meeting?
Move. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Back to regular board meeting. Next up on the agenda is warrants.
Motion.
Second.
Any questions there? Okay. Seeing none, call for vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Committee reports.
Not much since last meeting. We'll be scheduling, I'm sure, fairly soon, another highway committee. And the solid waste when we get our third Peter back in town.
Okay,
Not much to report.
okay. Sir Jim,
Yeah, parks, I'm pretty sure that all the improvements at Sodom, Scout Hall, I should say, are complete with the concrete work at the 2 entrances, staining and sprucing up the pillars. I stopped by there the other day. It looks, not only does it look good, but it is much safer. So thanks to Pete and his crew for that. Sewer continues to make progress. As you see, they're working down Main Street. All the things for behind Town Hall, that activity should be picking up here towards the end of September. We're still on schedule. We are working on a couple of things. First and foremost are the easement letters. There's a very complex tax form that we will be pre-filling for the people in the district. Looking at it and trying to decipher what boxes you need to check are challenging across the board. So we're getting feedback on that. We're going to pre-fill that out so that most people just have to put their information in and sign it. So those should be going out relatively soon. You know, things are on schedule within a couple of weeks. We are on budget. We have an $848,000 contingency So far, the contingencies have added up to about 145,000. So the big concerns with the contingency money were going to be what was found behind, the buildings down by Railroad Place. That was an industrial area. We got through all of that without any remediation that was needed. So we're really in good shape there. We're making progress. Laterals, to the homes, again, are scheduled to be done next spring, summer. Jake, question or? Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. No. No, so we'll get those letters out, and then there'll be time to return, and then, we'll go from there. Yep. Yep.
In previous meeting, you talked about the commissioning of the facility.
Yep.
Is that process underway, or what's the timeline?
Yeah, we're working on getting budget numbers. We have preliminary budget numbers from Cedarwood Engineering. We're going to build that into a sewer operating budget. So Cedarwood Environmental would be doing both the commissioning and operation in the first year. So as more and more, as they know how the system is designed, as more and more users are added, they'll be able to balance that and get that up and running. So there's Cedarwood Engineering, and then there's Cedarwood Environmental. So Cedarwood Environmental runs our water. It's professional services, so I don't think we need to put that out to bid. But that'll be forthcoming to the board in the future.
Several meetings ago, I asked about the bond.
Mhm.
I have not found it yet. Do you have
It's in our bank account. So if you can't find it, it's probably a good thing.
it? But I want to read I've been trying to find it so I can read the underwriter's notes in terms of, you asked earlier about the debt income limits for the town, that usually is part of the bond. Underwriting.
That's a
So
Bob Hafner question.
it must have it
Bob.
someplace, right?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
an issue in May.
I know we have the money, but that's a
I-
Bob Hafner
I'll
question.
I'll ask Mr. Hafner for where we can get that data for you, that document.
The other question would be, you mentioned that beginning of 2026, users may not be online and or paying in for the revenue. In fact, I think the bills don't go out until April.
Correct.
So there's a cash need that has to be called upon in terms of the general fund. Are you building that into your general fund for 2026? That cash draw? From the bond, I don't think you can.
No, we can't use it from the bond. Yeah, so the bond can't be used for operational costs. Yeah, so that's something we're working with Danae in figuring all that out. There might need to be a loan of startup money before we start to collect revenue.
With good terms and conditions, right?
Yes, defined previous to the loan.
Yes. Yes.
Town of Johnsburg Senior Committee. We are moving forward with our grant from AARP for our Home Fit program. Applications are out. They are available at the town hall. They're available in several other locations. From conversation with Pete just a little while ago, 4 applications have been received. We're hoping for 10 applications to be received, at least 10. But as of right now, we have received 4, so that project is moving forward. And we did have a group that met with the senior center over in Chestertown, Horicon Senior Site. And we were able to enter into conversations with them as far as how their operations are going. And we will be discussing some of those items that we learned about over there. We'll be discussing those actually tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock here at Tannery Pond. So we will be having our seniors committee meeting is tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. here.
Okay. Next up is privilege of the floor. Do we have anyone who wishes to speak at privilege? Yes, Kelly.
Can I speak from here?
You got it.
Hear me?
We can, I don't know that everybody else in Zoom land can, but
Live stream can't.
Live stream can't.
Okay, go ahead and talk. I'll take my time.
Library tomorrow. It popped up on my phone.
Yes, 5:05. I think it's gonna
I
be.
was prepared and ready to forget it. And then it,
I think it's gonna be.
Okay.
Well, I think we're all on the same page.
okay.
Honestly, it's all
Kelly Nessel speaking. This is just sort of a comment. I've been wondering how we can set up a structure or in a sort of like a regular scheduled way or means for people in the community to get together to share ideas about the different projects, share ideas and get information if the information is available. It just feels like something gets decided and projects happen, and then everybody's sitting there scratching their heads saying, where are we? What's happening? What's the status? And then we have future things like all the comprehensive plan, lots of ideas there. What's important to the community? What's important to talk about? Let people bring their ideas in, and then, it evolves into sort of a prioritized program. And I don't know what the structure is to do that.
the mechanism.
Yeah, the mechanism. How do we do that? Because I think there are people in town, lots of people in town who would be interested in, maybe people are interested in the senior community. Maybe they're interested in the parks. Maybe they're interested in the pond, who knows? But there are lots of things that are going on that they might just be interested in and we don't even think about. And I just think that's something for you all to think about, a mechanism to increase the communication, facilitate getting ideas about how to solve problems, instead of having just the little bunch of us who come every week or every other week. Yes, we wouldn't come if we weren't interested, but we don't have all the answers. And there's a lot of people out there that have good insight and ideas. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the opportunity. I'm Arthur Webb. I handed to the board a recommendation to bring back to the table the increases in senior exemptions. And at the senior day we held April 23rd, our committee keeps talking about what we can do to include more individuals and seniors. And so when this was passed in 23, the limit was 39,000. The governor now has put a limit on up to 50,000 with some sliding scales. When that was changed in 23, 125 seniors benefited from that. However, because of the income limits, they may actually start not to be eligible for it.
Got it.
Several towns have already done this, in Minerva, Fort Ty as an example. And whatever increases there are, the assessor has to approve each application as they come in. So I would suggest that it's probably a good thing to do.
Yep.
And in just estimating the impact, the assessor said it's a 0.004 impact. I think it was like 25 cents for the number of seniors that would increase. So at some point, I don't know what board session you could do that in. And you need to probably do it sooner than later
Yep.
in order to be eligible for that exemption.
Yep.
So.
Before March 1st.
Pardon me?
Thank you.
Before March 1st, but they have to have their applications before March 1st.
So this would be next.
There's a
meeting.
lot of options that the town can opt in that have not been previously defined.
Okay, well, why don't you and I have that conversation over this then? Okay. Anyone else for privilege of the floor? Going once, going twice. Okay, I call for motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Okay,
So do you think we could,
Go ahead.
we're adjourned.
Second.
Thank you.
Sorry.
so for this, do you think we could, are we gonna put this on the agenda for the next meeting?
Yeah, we can, absolutely. Yep.